This is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. I'm going to be making this all of the time. It's incredibly refreshing, but also mildly spicy, and it's pretty easy to make. Now, Monica and I recently got back from New Orleans. We went to Jazz Fest, which was a pretty incredible time, except they didn't have a whole lot of plant-based options at the festival. I kept hearing about a mushroom po' boy that I couldn't find, but one sandwich I kept seeing was a Crawfish Salad Roll that everybody was losing their minds about. So I thought, let's make that using mushrooms. So let me show you how. So the first thing I wanted to do was start with the brioche roll. Hi. Now, I've made this recipe a few times and I thought I could make it from memory. I just used 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon and a half teaspoon of instant dry yeast. I actually used active dry yeast, and I think that might have caused some problems. And a half teaspoon of salt. I mixed that together and then I measured out 3/4 cup of plant-based milk, tossed that in the microwave and warmed it up to about 110 degrees, and then just started adding it into the mixture. Now, once that was all mixed together and it was kind of flaky, I added in a half cup of vegan butter and then turned the mixer on to about 5 and kneaded that together for about 4 or 5 minutes. Once it started pulling away from the side, I then just kind of kneaded it into a ball, tossed it back into the bowl, covered it up, and let it rest in my oven for about 2 hours. Now, after the 2 hours, I divided this into 8 equal parts. Now, these were a lot softer than I remember. I really should have punched this out like you punching the subscribe button right now, if you want to. That would be great. But I just went ahead and shaped them into hot dog buns, placed them onto a lined baking sheet, and I covered them with a damp towel, and then I let them rest for about another hour. Now, at this point, that's when I decided to start making the mushroom salad. I figured it would take about an hour to make. Now, I started with about 2 pounds of just white button cap mushrooms. I washed them just using water. We're going to boil them here, so washing doesn't matter. We want to make sure that all of the dirt's removed because we're going to be using the whole stem and cap of the mushroom. Now, I'm not going to be slicing these, no knife involved. I'm just going to pop off the stem and then break these mushrooms into small little bits, just like fingertip-sized bits almost. This is a lot of mushrooms, but don't worry, it's going to boil down. You're going to have enough for maybe like 8 sandwiches or so. So I'm just going to toss these onto the stovetop, cover them with salt. I'm using a decent amount of salt. And then I don't know if you've ever seen these like little seaweed snacks. They're just roasted seaweed sheets. You can use any type of seaweed here. Mix them in, kind of break them up with the mushrooms. Then I'm going to pour in enough water to almost cover them, set the heat on high, bring them to a boil, and then I'm going to let them simmer down until the water is completely gone. That's probably going to take about 30 or 40 minutes, which is plenty of time for me to tell you about today's sponsor, Green Chef. Green Chef is a CCOF certified organic meal kit company that makes options for every kind of lifestyle, like keto and paleo, vegan, vegetarian, fast and fit, Mediterranean, and gluten-free. Now, a lot of you have heard me talking about Green Chef for years now. They're one of my longest and favorite sponsors. And I've also talked about being healthier. Green Chef supports a healthy lifestyle with pre-portioned, easy-to-follow recipes delivered right to your door. It's never been easier to hit your wellness goals. And I love their pre-made, pre-measured sauces, dressings, and spices to get you more chef-curated flavor in less time. And Green Chef saves you time by taking care of the meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of the prep week after week. So you don't have to. And I love these meals. Look at this. It's so good. It's just so good, and I love that Green Chef offsets 100% of the plastic packaging in every box. So gang, raise your food quality standards with Green Chef. Use my code Saucestache60 to get 60% off, plus free shipping on your first box. Go to greenchef.com for more details. Green Chef, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for providing me with all of these tasty meals through the years. That was just awesome. So we're back. That wasn't that bad. Our mushrooms are still boiling, but they're almost done. So at this point, we're going to make our remoulade sauce. So we're going to start with 1 green onion chopped, along with 1.5 tablespoons of Italian parsley, minced pretty fine, 2 stalks of celery, minced, 2 cloves of garlic, minced, and the juice of 1 whole lemon. Now, I'm also going to be using 1 tablespoon of prepared horseradish, 2 tablespoons Dijon mustard, a half tablespoon of white wine vinegar, a teaspoon hot sauce. Now, you got to use, something from New Orleans, and a half cup of vegan mayo. Now, I'm also going to sprinkle in about 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You can use as much as you like to get the spice that you want, along with some Cajun seasoning, whatever your favorite may be. Now, I'm just going to stir that up, cover it up, toss it in the fridge until the mushrooms are almost done, which they are. So there's pretty much no liquid left. You can add a little bit of olive oil if you want. And I'm just gonna stir these up and allow them to cook until they're pretty much done steaming. That's what we're looking for. Now, there's always gonna be a little bit of steam, but we don't want them to be overly steamy. That means there's still a lot of water left in these. Once they're done, our remoulade is cold, it's out of the fridge. Add in the mushrooms, stir that up, cover them up, and toss them back in the fridge until they are cold. This is gonna thicken up, that the mushrooms are gonna suck in a lot of this sauce and take a lot of that flavor on, and it's gonna be really good. So now our buns have risen. They definitely look a little bit odd. I'm suspecting there might be an issue here. I preheated the oven for 350 degrees, let them bake for about 20 minutes, and then when I pulled them out, you can see these are not bun-like. They're actually hard. They didn't rise all the way. They didn't get soft and fluffy. And you know what? Everybody always asks me to post failures. People say I never post any sort of fail. So here it is. This is one of those fails. I've made these buns I don't know how many times, and I really just, I don't know if it was vacation brain or what, because I made this recipe the day we got back. I've learned that lesson. So at this point, I just went ahead and ran back to the store and grabbed some basic split top hot dog buns. Now I'm just gonna carefully shave off the sides of each one of these buns, really not much, just a little bit. We're gonna butter a hot pan with some vegan butter, toast these on each side, make them nice and toasty, and then our mushrooms should be cold at this point. We're gonna fill this up with this seafood inspired mushroom salad. You definitely wanna overstuff these. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Top them with some green onions, and I mean, look at these. This sandwich looks amazing. So now let's see what Monica has to say. Then we'll go for the whole thing.
Cheers. I love that.
Awesome, right?
Yeah, this flavor is really good. It's super refreshing. And you know I love the mushroom bite.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Any sort of like kick or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I taste some lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some vinegar in here?
Yep, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Lemon, vinegar, and garlic.
You don't have any like heat? I'm getting some spice. I mean, for me, it's a little spicy.
A little spicy, a little kick. For sure. I feel like I taste the lemon the most.
Okay, well, do you want some hot sauce?
Yeah, I'll throw some.
I'm gonna do some hot sauce. I'll do a little bit of mine too.
But now that you say that, I do taste
I mean, to me,
bit.
it's spicy.
But this is like delicious. I love the like refreshing kind of like salad flavor dressing to it, you know?
Cold mushroom salad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
you want to smash your... I'm just excited to hear what you think about the whole thing.
Cheers.
Boom.
I already knew I was gonna like it.
Yeah.
This is really good. It tastes kind of like what I would expect, like a lobster roll to taste like, or
Boom. Does it look like those the crawfish rolls that we were seeing all over?
yeah, it reminds me of that like crawfish salad roll we saw at the festival. It looked really good. I mean,
It is delicious. It's delicious.
This
Okay.
is really good. I love this.
So I know you already
Eat
said
this
some...
all the time.
Oh, yeah. I know you already said some of the flavors, but is it mushroomy? I don't really have a whole lot of like...
Just the texture.
Yeah, but the mushrooms aren't watery. They're not like chewy.
Oh no, not at all.
No.
It's just it's like a snap.
I mean, super fresh.
This would be good with anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy about it. This is like my new favorite sandwich.
Mine too.
Yeah. Brought home some taste of New Orleans.
Yeah, this is really good. Reminds me of New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. I mean, I just devoured that sandwich.
Yeah.
Did you say anything else?
No, I was just saying bye.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
No, it's just really good. I'm gonna devour it too.
Yeah.
I'm just a slower eater.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I am happy about that.
Yeah, this is really good, baby.
Yeah.